Welcome, everybody.
Hello there.
I see those Raiders just won a game. Smile. As a matter of fact, their third game in a row, and everybody's saying it's December, right? I
That's
know,
when you
I
need to
know your
win.
mind is going. All the minds out there. Oh, it's December. It's just the right time for them to play. If they could win it out, okay. Now we go to the land of Oz, right? We,
Yeah.
and then we make the playoffs, and then we beat
And then, and then we go to
Kansas
the Super
City
Bowl.
or Buffalo and Cincinnati, and then we go to the Super Bowl.
Got to beat the Rams first.
Poor Rams, what's going on over there? Oh my
They're like the
God.
Chargers of the NFC.
She called it to, and strangely enough, they come from the same city.
Yeah.
I mean, who isn't out? Well, Jalen's gonna play. I saw the commercials. Prime is trying to attract people to their Thursday night football, right? Jalen Ramsey versus Devontae Adams. I'm like, okay.
You're stretching for a matchup if you're going to use that. I mean, a defensive back versus a wide receiver. Ooh.
Ooh, I mean, I'm really, waiting for that one. And then he who never runs the same route twice. But I wanted to get started right on the Charger game. And I'm going to start asking you guys MVP. You looked at the whole game, Captain. Who's your MVP of the Chargers game? I'm going to challenge you and everybody out there, all our wonderful, wonderful listeners.
Yeah.
MVP for
Thanks,
the
Peggy.
game this
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah. Right off the top, it's like here. Let's get with Captain Jack real quick.
I
You know,
have to get with the
put him
captain.
on the
He
spot.
was there,
Put
right,
him on the
Heidi?
spot.
He was there. He
Uh,
Yeah, he got
actually
to see
saw it
everything.
live, right?
you ladies keep forgetting. I've
That's right.
seen every game this year, but I've seen one game this year, and that was the Indy game because I saw it on TV. So
Oh,
it's like when I see the game, I see the game, but I don't see the game.
I mean,
Okay.
somebody's name had to be called more than once,
I, I, tell,
right?
I tell you one person, and I'm going to say like what's the anti MVP? What's the
Well,
least valuable player? I'll tell you who the least valuable player was.
tell me,
50 who?
which
I
one?
was going to can I give you my MVP? I'll give you my
Go ahead.
MVP.
Oh,
Go ahead.
and I'm coming back to you with that one, Captain, because you're not going to slip away that quick. Go ahead,
Jermaine
Heidi.
Illuminor.
Yeah, what a
Does
game!
our studio audience know why?
I think they do.
That's right. 50 who?
I mean, one would argue, as I was arguing with my Chargers brothers and sisters, he doesn't have his shipmate with him.
Mm-hmm.
Bosa's out.
Yeah.
That does sort of concentrate the attention all on him.
Yeah. And without Bosa, 50 who, aka, and I'll say his name only for those who don't know my normalcy of who 50 who is, Khalil Mack, who was a terror in the first matchup of the year because he had Bosa on the other side. So you
Correct.
can't really you gotta take care of both sides. Uh and again, for this conversation, I will call him by his real name. Khalil Mack had a great game. He actually kind of terrorized Colton Miller the first game. Colton didn't really play a good game, and Mack had an outstanding game, as did actually I think Mack had a better game than Bosa the first game.
Mhm.
But without his shipmate, taking some of that heat off of him, Khalil Mack, and again, only because for those that don't know my idiosyncrasies of 50 who, his stat line, I believe, was 0, 3, and 0.
Yeah,
0 tackles, 3 assisted tackles, and 0 sacks.
I got here just a total of 3 tackles. That's it. I'm not
Yeah,
even
but
sure he.
I think those were those were assisted because I don't recall him
No, no
being
solos. No,
yeah,
no
no
solo
Right.
solos.
tackles.
He
But
was
that wasn't
assisted.
what Matt was brought there for. We're really looking at the sack category, are we
Right.
not?
Yeah, yeah. And if we are looking at the sack category, going back to your original question,
Yes, which you
for
knew I
this
was going
game,
back there.
the MVP was some guy who is now off a milk carton, and his name is Chandler Jones.
All right.
You stole that line from my podcast.
I
But
did not listen to your podcast, so
i-
I
if it was
can't
Heidi's
say that.
idea, you took it. But Heidi,
Yes, you took it.
great, great recognition of the O
No,
line
it's
play.
great minds thinking alike, Heidi. I
I
swear.
That's
know
right. That's right.
because see, the O line play in September, it's not the same O line in December as we hoped. Okay, Illuminor was a penalty machine. Okay, false start, false start, hands to the face. We were like, did Leatherwood leave? we, we were looking around to see whether his ghost was still here. And I remember us talking about Illuminor. I said, well, they must be keeping him around for a reason. Someone
For
has
some,
foreseen something. I
yeah.
don't see it. I didn't see it September. I didn't see it October, Heidi. But here we are in
I
December.
actually saw a little bit of it last year. I saw flashes of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. He played well enough to warrant that extra contract,
Mm-hmm.
and especially when he already knew the system because he was with the Patriots prior to signing with the Raiders, and that just worked out. That when McDaniels and crew came over here, they knew enough about him being in that system, and they knew what they had with him, and that's why they signed him to that
Yeah, but
extra
it was
deal.
still a gamble. I mean, that line was shambles. Nobody knew if anybody was plugged into the right position at all. And Captain, I'm coming back. You're MVP for Sunday.
I said it,
You said who was it?
Chandler Jones.
Oh, you stole mine.
No, and before you guys say anything, okay. And again, Heidi, I would love to listen to your podcast, but you and Peggy know why I have
No
this amount of
time
time,
in the world.
I
this
know.
amount of time in the world. I know it was a fantastic podcast, and make sure you are listening to it. And go
The
ahead,
Only
Bart.
Nation podcast.
Oh
There you go.
yes.
Only
But
Nation.
for your next flight, download them before the flight. And then you
That's
can
right.
listen on the
Then I
plane.
have to put my phone on.
You captive audience.
Well,
You're not going anywhere.
if I got enough juice on my phone, I will. I will also say though, speaking of my MVP and your MVP, Heidi, was one of the nice gentlemen, and I'll give another MVP that's kind of like a because it ties in with my story, Duron Harmon, and I'll tell you why. Okay, Duron Harmon lit a fire under the ass of the defense following the Indianapolis game. And they've been playing a lot better since, beating the Broncos, beating the Seahawks, and then beating the Garglers. I have to say, I'm required to say the Garglers at least once in broadcast when I'm talking about the LA team. But the
And
one thing
captive,
about I'm sorry, but the one thing about it is Luminor and Harmon were kind enough to sign a mini helmet on their way off the field
that's very
on Sunday. That's
hard.
why I wanted to give them some props.
Oh, wonderful.
Very
That is so
nice.
wonderful. I'm going to give a small shout out to Isaiah Polamalu, who is, of course, Troy Polamalu's nephew. I mean, best game of his career as a Raider, 5 solo tackles,
Mm-hmm. And a
1
sack.
sack,
Yeah.
and a tackle for a loss. I think what we're seeing, and we can talk about this later as we look at all the new faces on defense, they really are trying to get a winning combination together. And that's something that I was wrong about. I thought that they were tanking it so they could tear it down and rebuild it. And they didn't care whether we started playing well again at all this year. And I was wrong. On defense, they decided, let's get some fresh blood in here. Now I want to go to just talking about the game itself. And of course, back to my rating of the units. I'm right there at offense. Heidi, give me your grade for the offense and maybe one highlight that you saw.
Well, first, I'm going to answer Sinister Rain's question. The
Mm-hmm.
podcast is called The Only Nation Podcast, and I have that with T3 Raider Facts. We do have the episodes on YouTube. I don't think I've put up this week's yet, though, but you can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any regular podcast app. The Only Nation Podcast. And as
Wonderful.
far as a grade for the offense, I'm going to give them an A minus.
Anybody
Gosh,
stand out to
hard,
you?
hard.
Really stand out to you?
Oh, it's got to be Devontae and Josh.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be. I mean, between those two, I mean, the offense ran through them. There was no stopping either one of them. You know, Carr had a solid game. Um, I don't really. I think that interception, that pick six, um, I do believe there was a penalty on that play.
Absolutely.
You
The
know,
guy's hand was on his arm. We know, Captain. You guys have already
and
talked about it.
And, you know, I believe there was a penalty on that play. That should not have been a pick six. It wasn't on him. And, you know, he had a solid game. Nothing spectacular. But boy, did he throw some nice passes to Devontae.
Mhm.
But
That's
I got to
always.
say, their offense ran through Devontae and Josh. And I
Now,
got to give it to
Captain,
them.
I
But
want to, I want to, I want
Illuminor, I mean, he,
to,
he
hold
had a
on.
great game.
There were also some other solid games up and down that line. I mean, nobody's talked about Andre James, just solid stuff in the
Hmm.
middle. I mean, just steady, keeping his lanes clear. Most important. But Captain, you had something to say about the
No, I'm
offense?
sorry. Just the mere thought of that pick six, which was a pick zero, because everybody in the stadium, and I don't think, yeah, see, this is the one advantage I can say of being in the stadium. We
Reaction.
saw the replay on the big screen, and I was told that they didn't show it on TV. And
Mm-hmm.
what we saw on the big screen was the D back go over Hollins and basically swipe at his head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, swiped at his head, took his head down, kind of like a
A
headlock
mugging, kind of
gone
like a
awry.
mugging. Go ahead.
Yeah, a headlock gone awry. Took his head down. The ball tips up, and then of course I think it's Callahan that got the six, if I'm not mistaken. But the point is that you saw the flag and we're like, aha, there you go. No points for you. And then all of a sudden, whoever the schmuck is that was the white hat for that game, Big says,
Mm-hmm.
no, there is no penalty on the play. And and that was right after they saw, or the entire stadium saw the Jumbotron, saw
Yeah.
the replay, and just
Excuse me, but
went out of their seats.
unlike the hillbillies in Kansas City, we didn't start throwing debris at the players of the
Yes.
other team because a call didn't go our way. Okay, even at home, we have class, and you still need to give me a grade for the offense.
Who?
You.
Me. I'm giving it an A. I'm not giving it an A plus, but I don't recall too many times that there was a very misfire. I mean, if you go by half, I would go B plus for the first half and A plus for the second half because they were firing on all cylinders in the second half. But that's why I'm going to call it an A overall because they were still doing the things that they needed to do. The running game wasn't as proficient in the. I mean, obviously it takes a bit for Josh to get going, and then just
Mm-hmm.
feed him, and then those big runs come. But definitely an A on my part for the offense overall.
And I'm going to give him an A as well. And the reason being is because once again I'm looking at play calling. I mean, now that we've established, Josh, that you run to set up the pass, not the other way around, and we'll get to that later on. Perfect play calling to feed off the way that the safeties were playing, the way that Charger D line was playing. I mean, you were taking advantage of their fear of the running game. And I've often told people, just like with Tennessee, Derrick Henry, it's not his running that you fear. It's just that he might run. He might come out of the backfield for a pass. He might do things to you, and you're scared. So you've got a linebacker hanging around, maybe even another safety hanging around, and that is what the Raiders exploited. I just wish we had a better number two wide receiver to really surprise them. Okay. And not just go to Devontae all the time, but I digress. Let's go right to the defense. And Heidi, once again, I'm asking for your grade on the defensive performance Sunday.
I'll also give them an A minus.
Oh, she's not gonna break her record of an A.
Hey, I'm in the A's. What more can you ask for?
I'm loving it. I'm loving every moment of it, Heidi.
I mean, they did allow 13 points.
Right.
But otherwise, I mean, Chandler Jones was there. He actually was my Heidi's hero for the week. I named it a three-headed monster. Jones.
I like Heidi's heroes. That sounds so cool.
Yeah, Jones, Jacobs, and Adams. Named a three-headed monster as the hero. Okay. But overall, they just did a good job. Nate Hobbs made his presence known, right away in his first game back. Harmon was a great leader. Perriman was active. I mean, and Max, he didn't have, he made his presence known as well. He didn't have a dominating game. But, he was still there. He was still active. He was still around the quarterback. And even when Jones wasn't racking up a sack, he was still active. He had a batted down pass. He had 2 tackles for loss. Just a really good game by the defense. And
I'm so happy for him.
From
I really am.
For such a unit that had so much trouble, earlier in the year. And I've got to say that Jerry Tillery has made an incredible impact on the defense.
We really got to figure out why. We're going to have to go. I'm really going to have to go with my gurus and start breaking down the film. I've got to find out why everybody's play is being elevated in the middle. I'm talking about even the linebackers are playing better.
And it's been the last 3 games since he's been on board.
And I will say, and this is something that T3 mentioned in our episode this week. There are 2 things that happened 4 weeks ago. Derek Carr had his impassioned plea at the press conference, and somebody was released.
And that was Mr. Abrams.
Yes. Now, he has the little heart of the lion. He really does. Hits hard. Loved being a Raider. But you kind of got to wonder if somehow that translated to dragging down the play of the other players on the field.
Oh, that's a harsh thing, but how do we got to go there?
Well, let's also
very interesting.
Let's also go to the fact that immediately after we released him, he was picked up by the Packers, and he lasted all of 2
weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
and now he's been picked up by somebody else. Picked him up though.
Yeah.
The Seahawks picked him up after we played him.
Right. And that's that may or may not. We never know what's going on in the locker room, the chemistry, the vibes. We don't know. Even right now, who wants to be there and who doesn't, Captain? And while we're at it, can we have your grade for defense this week?
Considering that they kept I don't want to hear about, they were injured. They're still a prolific offense, okay? With Eckler, with Allen, barbecue chicken Allen, and Herbert as one of the better quarterbacks in the AFC. They kept them to 17 offensive points.
13.
13.
Okay, yeah, 13. Yeah, 13.
Yeah.
And that says it all. Okay. They kept them pretty much off the board. And if you take a team, they're hurting on the O line, and it showed.
Hmm.
They're down a receiver or two, but you know what? The guys that they got on the field with Palmer and again Palmer, Allen, and then their tight end who's nothing to sneeze at,
Hmm.
uh, and of course Eckler. I mean, they got a damn good offense, and to keep them to 13 points, like I said, because that 7 is a pick six, which shouldn't have been. Kept that offense to 13 points.
For
I'm
the
definitely
Raiders, it's always going to be on the board because, as usual, the Raider, as I always say, they've got their Stevie Wonder costumes. The refs do when they come out and play us. They have there's certain plays where they put on those dark sunglasses, right? And you
Hmm.
can't see. They can't see a
Roy
thing.
Orbison,
Yeah,
pretty
we
woman,
can always count on
walking
two or
down
three
the
plays
street.
exactly. But now I have to give the defense an A. And to come from me, talking about that Raider defense is, and I had to give them an A because for the first game of the year, they played like a team. One unit. I had guys contributing from everywhere, guys coming up to fill gaps from everywhere. We had corners filling gaps, corners that were people that were wrapping and tackling after catches, what few catches. And oh, by the way, Captain, the name of that tight end is Everett. There
thank
were
you.
things that were going on that field that I've been waiting for all year long. That cohesiveness where one is involved in blocking or pursuit, the other is waiting in the arms. There was more gang tackling, which is something it's always to me a sign of a very good defense. They all converge. First time I saw it this year. There may have been other games I put on my Stevie Wonder costume, didn't see it. I was so disgusted with them. But I'm going to give them an A this week. And let us now go to coaching. Hard thing to do. And I'm going to start right out. I'm never going to give them an A, okay? Because I just don't think they're creative enough. But this week, B for taking advantage of opportunities that were presented on offense. Captain, your grade for the coaching this week?
Well, they're never going to be if we're going by Peggy standards. If we're going by Peggy standards, if they're not ever going to be an A, then a B
Not
plus
for
plus.
me. Okay.
And the reason why I say that is I don't recall, and unless you guys and gals can let me know if something I forgot, I don't recall any large gaffes of a play calling that. Well, I mean, the flea flicker worked. There was no like penalties for too much, like delayed a game. There was nothing that was where guys were out of position. Graham's defense, the guys are seeming to have gotten used to it. And actually, I saw a video from one of the YouTube providers is saying how the in Graham's defense they had the two defensive tackles in the gaps, they had the two safeties outside them on the
And it
interior.
reflects, and we're going to talk about that
Right.
when
And
we
then they had
start
the
talking
ends
about the
on the
blue tape.
outside. So you had like a 6-man front, and it worked to perfection on defense. So when people are starting to get that defense, it wouldn't, again, I didn't see anything that would warrant it as a miscue. So since we don't give A's to coaching per Peggy's parameters, it's B plus plus.
Heidi, you're great for defense.
I'll give them a B. Um, the one
Excuse
thing,
me, coaching.
yeah, a B for coaching. The one thing that concerned me was with about 6 minutes left in the game, we had the ball, and on first down, they went for a pass that was incomplete. And that left us to, you know, they didn't start with the run. And that was at a situation where the run really should have been used.
Hmm.
Because Jacobs was, he was getting 5, 6 yards per run. And it put us, it put the Raiders back on their heels, 2nd and 10. and they did not convert to get another first down. And the Chargers got the ball back with an opportunity to drive down the field and really do some damage. And I didn't agree with that pass play. I'm not going to say that I am completely grading them down just because of that one play, but it concerned me that that when we needed to go to the run, they tried to be cute again.
And that's something that again, why I'm never going to be given a coaching an A, although coaching, as Captain reminded us, has to do defense too. Defensive coaching this week was superb. But especially on a guy like Herbert. Captain, we still got that issue of 314 passing yards given up to a quarterback who had basically no running game, 22 carries, 72 yards, and has an O-line that's been ranked 25th for like the last 4 weeks in the league.
Yeah,
so but the trash O-line and no running game, and you still gave up 314 passing yards.
But how many points did they give up? Bend don't break.
Well, again, first time I ever saw that. It almost always results in points. This time it didn't.
Right.
Maybe a corner is being turned here, and I want to go right now to what
was that a play on words? A corner is being turned.
That's right.
Ha ha ha.
I want to go right now to our discussion about the Raider roster next year. And I want to start with the starters. Okay. We've talked about Carr a little bit. Now I want to get right into the nitty gritty. We've said no, he's not going to be here. What's your assessment now of whether Carr is going to be here next year? Heidi?
Oh, you have to go to me first, don't you?
Don't
worry.
I'll be honest. Now, after the past 3 weeks, I'm not so sure anymore. I honestly didn't think that they would turn the corner and look this good for the last 3 weeks. Yeah. So now that they have, it kind of makes me reevaluate that. Now, Carr's contract is still a problem. If they let him go, it's only like $5 or $7 million cap hit as opposed to a $40 million cap hit. Is he going to be able to play himself into a position where they're willing to swallow that? I think that still remains to be seen. I still think there's a good chance he's not in Las Vegas next year. But there's a chance that he would. A month ago, I would have said he's not going to. But now I think there's a chance that he does stay.
Captain, your thoughts? 3 weeks ago, we were saying absolutely not. Carr does not return. Has that changed?
Yes, it has. It's still to be determined, and the reason, and that's not it's a non-answer answer, because, okay. and again, I can't project, because we also have to worry about personnel with salary cap, because there's somebody that we do need to sign, and his name is Josh Jacobs.
We're going to get to that.
Well, I'm just saying, when it comes to personnel, I said, is it, and we still there's a big question mark when it comes to Darren Waller. There's also, when you got to, and the reason I think
my thunder, we just talk about Carr.
No. You asked.
We're talking about the whole picture.
The whole picture. When you talk about Carr, you have to put all of the pieces together. Who's going to be here? Who's not going to be here? And at what price? Derek Carr has played himself into the possibility of being here, but also it's still to be determined what the pieces are around him, what prices we are paying. So that's why I'm going to say the question is incomplete in my estimation. And I'm not trying to Jones out of it. I'm saying I need more information.
we're first of all we're speculating here. We're
Yeah.
filling, not only filling airtime, right? But also we're talking the way the fans talk. I mean, we talk
Right.
about these things and we reason them out. Why or why not in our minds, based on our experiences, based on our priority. You, as the GM, just inserted something in your equation about
Well,
car, and that is, and I want to keep Josh. Okay,
I, I,
now
I well,
I'm just
I,
pointing
if
that
Peggy,
out.
you remember what I do for a living.
Mm-hmm.
You remember what I do for a living. A person with stars or eagles ask me a question, and the answer to the question is, sir or ma'am, this is what I know, this is what I can project, and this is what I don't know. And actually, that is an offshoot of what Colin Powell said. Tell me what you know, tell me what you don't know, and tell me what you think.
Mm-hmm. I want to
And
know
I
what you
don't
think.
and I don't know. I know that he has played well enough to be here. I don't know if he's going to be here with the pieces in mind. And what I think is, I need more information. Now, if we're going to run an op where we're going and we're going to go get some bad guys, it's still incomplete information. I need more. I need more juice in order to give you a no go. And I'm that's just the way I am.
And wait a minute. We're going to ask this question again in January, right?
Yeah, we
We're
are,
going to
and I'll
still
have more
ask
information in
ourselves,
January.
because we, again, as we gather more data, and for me, I'm still stuck on Carr not being here, only because there are a lot of other pieces that I believe that McDaniels wants to put into a team in his own image. And this is in his own image. It's very important. And you don't like to hear it, but the Patriot way. Okay? And the Patriot way is, I don't yet have the quarterback I really truly want, and this is what I believe. The Carr is not what they want. Okay? I believe that it's who was here when they got here. Okay? And that is something that they've got to take into account. I want Carr to be here so bad. But what I don't want is the kind of negativity, the kind of the grass is greener talk that might make my ears ache. Yesterday on game day, I was so pleased to be in New York. I want to give a shout out to the Silver and Black Empire, Johnny Lauro, Carmine Pucci, Mr. Robert Vega. I am so happy. I had such a wonderful time. The one thing I did not enjoy was every single time there was a play that didn't work in my ear. Carr is trash. Carr is this. Carr doesn't run enough. Carr this, that. It absolutely ruined my fan experience. I'm telling all of y'all Carr bashings out there, I'm sick of you. I don't want to watch games with a group of Raider fans now because of the atmosphere you guys have created. We cannot enjoy the genius, the brilliance of Carr because of you. And don't think that your cloud of negativity hasn't seeped into the media and into Raider headquarters. Okay? That's a factor, I believe, a strong factor in whether Carr stays or goes. It's a question. Who cares? Yes, and actually, we had breakfast together Monday morning. I
Was it
threw
at
him
the
a
place
couple of crumbs, the Subway rats. But
the place
I
down the
think
street from Penn Station that we went to a lot?
right.
I
New
think
York, New York.
Edward Winchell forgot about a dozen quarterbacks this century.
Yeah,
He's
and of
forgotten
course,
about how that
yeah, you see,
how that
what
went.
they've done is they've managed to ruin the Raider fan experience. So desperate are they to get the message to Raider headquarters that they don't want Carr anymore, that they have managed to make our experience just something that is unpoppable. I will not listen to it. Y'all might read about me in the paper doing violence against one of these people. I'm telling you that that is not the way to analyze whether a quarterback is successful or unsuccessful, or whether he belongs with the Raiders next year. Breaking in a new quarterback, is that in Josh's game plan? He'll go with Stidham. Okay? Because he has bigger fish to fry, and that's to build that defense. Start spending the money that you spend on this money that you spend on offense. You're going to have to start spending it on defense. Don't you have to re-sign Perriman? Don't you have to re-sign a lot of 1-year guys?
Mm-hmm.
You've got some serious thinking to do about how your money is going to be apportioned. But now let's go to what I'm going to make the most controversial topic tonight, and that's the re-signing of Josh Jacobs. You are the GM out there. Now we come to Josh Jacobs, who you already didn't offer a 5th-year contract. You could have avoided all this, sent Waller out to pasture with his hamstring, okay? But you didn't do that. You made a franchise decision. You did not pay Josh. Now he's having a career year. You know what? I think the Patriot way, I'm reading the book, Captain, I got my Patriot way book out, is we already have his replacement on the bench.
Yeah.
His name is Zamir Smith.
Zamir
White.
God bless you, Jake. I'm so happy you've made yourself such a valuable commodity. You're going to get somebody to pay you 10, 12. What's the limit, Heidi, that he could make out there?
He's looking
year?
At 12 to 14.
Yeah.
12 to 40. Someone is going to pay you that money. It ain't going to be the Raiders. Captain, your thoughts on Josh?
I am of a mind that I would like to re-sign him, but not at what the going rate is for, like I said, 12 to let's call it 12. Okay, let's just call it 12. 12 million for a oft injured, but not this year so far. Although we'll see
and
about
not
Thursday.
Young. He'll be 28 years old.
Right.
Zamir's 22. Go ahead.
Right. And I like the and as you are stating, the Patriot way is to have RBC running back by committee and not overpaying for those in that position. They've never overpaid. They've gotten rid of everybody that's ever paid that. Yeah. Sony Michel, the guy they got from the Bengals that was only there for a couple years, and he took pay cuts in order to Dylan.
Well, Dylan. Even Corey Dillon.
Right.
They pay him no big money.
They didn't make the money, and these are Corey Dillon was a premier running back.
Sure was.
And they still didn't pay him. So I'm thinking that they're going to ask they're going to let him go out onto the free agent market. I was thinking, they might franchise, they're going to go out on the free agent market and have him come back with what they're offering. And again, of course, I said this, I think last week, his agent's going to say, well, we got a 13 from this people, that 13 is looking good. So what are you going to do to up the offer? I said, no, we're going to give you like 9.5 or 10. If that.
Remember, I've got a cheap young back.
I got you.
That is a better running back than Jacobs. I go there
in theorem. In what?
Of course, you haven't given him any carries, so I can't really refute that yet. You don't give him any carries,
right? But he has the capability, he has the tenacity, he has the upside to be that, and he's younger, and he would be a lot cheaper. So I'd like to keep Jacobs, but I'm not going to overpay for him. And then it's up to Jacobs, who is a Raider in heart, okay, and is playing for a contract along with playing for a team that he wants to play for. It'll be up to him and his agent to see if he wants to come back. Now, speaking of agents and playing with the Raiders, and this will be that segue that I think you're looking for, Peggy. There was a certain tight end that fired his agent because of the shenanigans that they were playing with the Raiders, and then he got a
Hey,
new agent and got a new
doesn't matter.
contract.
It's on the books now. It's on the books.
I
Okay.
understand that, but
That,
what I'm saying
that was
is
Josh's money.
it was Josh's money, but now we have to deal with it, and that's one of those reasons why when you were asking about the car question, I'm going to say who's coming back and at what value, and that's why I said it's an incomplete nature because that
Heidi,
person might not be here anymore either. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
playing off the captain. Heidi, what's your
I'm
thoughts
agreeing
about
with the
Jacob?
captain.
Mm-hmm.
I think Josh wants to stay. I think the Raiders would like for him to stay, but they are going to let him test free agency. They might try to sign him to a deal now, like maybe a 3-year deal. But Josh would kind of be stupid to take it.
He deserves all that money plus more. He's a
And
dynamic running back. He deserves the $12 million a year, Heidi, that you
yeah,
just
he does. And I just don't see the Raiders giving it to him.
absolutely not. Not when I
I,
got his replacement on the bench.
and I would love for them to. I would love to see Jacobs in a Raiders jersey next year. I just don't see how it's going to happen. And it kills me to say that. But um,
I'd like to take down a few pipe dreams about Josh. First of all, in addition to being often injured his first 3 years, why did it take not offering him a fifth year option before I got the kind of play out of him that we all knew he was capable of? For the first time in his career, a 50-plus yard touchdown run from scrimmage. Why did I have to wait 3 years for that when I know there are backs capable of giving me to that year one? I'm just trying to say there are reasons Josh deserves what he can get. If the Raiders go and sign him, that's cool. But that's going to create other kinds of problems. And we're the GM in this. And while we're doing, I'm going to transition Heidi right to Waller. What in the world do you do with him next year?
I
Because
say
you know he's not coming. If he comes
you have
back,
to trade him. I think you have to trade him.
okay.
Uh,
Try.
you know,
Try to
and
trade. You think
and
the
I
rest
think
of
I
the
think
league hasn't been watching what's been going on here? The
I
guy
think you'd
gets
have a
signed
taker,
and
but
then
you're probably
disappears.
not going to have a taker like you had in the Packers. Before the trade deadline this year,
This is true.
unfortunately.
Man.
Um, but I just I don't know. I just don't see him as a Raider next year.
Mm-hmm.
And the the play, the offensive play has been elevated with him gone.
I knew, I knew, I knew somebody was going to say that. Quite frankly, do we miss him? I hate to say, ooh, I don't
I
know.
mean,
Help me.
he could be so valuable. He could be a crucial part of the offense. But for one thing, we don't even know how it would run this year with him because he's been out for so long. But the offense is doing just fine without him.
Will it do just fine without Josh?
Depends on if White can step up
Mm-hmm.
and step into his shoes right away.
And I'm telling everybody out there, you have no idea what White can do because he doesn't get the carries. He gets 2 carries a game, maybe. I mean, there's nothing you can tell about that at all. I say you don't know what you have yet, and I believe. Captain, what do you do with Waller?
Well, first I want to give insight. I can see that as well, Ed Winchell. It'd be like Marcus Allen Part 2.
Oh my
Uh,
God. You think
yeah,
Kansas City would actually cough $12 million a year for Josh?
yeah.
Like they value, like Andy Reid ever in the history of his coaching career has valued a running back?
It's not necessarily Andy Reid, but yeah, Andy Reid actually is trying to use more of the running back this year, and I have some guy that talks to me about it on Wednesdays. There's that plug for
I
Wild
don't
Wild
believe.
West on Wednesday.
No, no.
But But what I'm saying is that
I'm
when
from
you have a
Missouri. You got to show me that. Andy
when
Reid changing his stripes. He's fooling
when
you.
you have a running back that would be the piece de resistance of an offense that they are missing in Kansas City, taking him away from of a division rival in that way to screw you over.
Hmm.
Okay, a la when Marcus went over, it is something that would be well deserved. I can actually see that if they pay the bags or pay the like I tell you what, honestly, being even, if the Raiders offer, let's say the Raiders offer him 10 million a year, and Kansas City offered him 10 million a year or 10 million
Are we
one hundred
back on
thousand.
Josh Jacobs again when we're talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Waller?
yeah, yeah. But it's talking about the money.
No, 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 no. I'm not going to let other people alter
I'll
our
get
things.
back to
Let's
Waller.
talk to Waller.
Waller, I think
Nah.
will be traded to whoever gives us the best option, the best numbers, and the best opportunity. Because I see the Raiders getting a tight end in the draft that they will feel comfortable with, and to try to get rid of the money that they have with Waller. The best offer that they get, picks, money, and or other things, they will part with Waller, get his money off of the books, and get a tight end that's in the mold of what they want. I'm not sure if they're going to go for the Gronk mold first, or if they're going to go for the Hernandez mold in what they have, but they're going to get a tight end that fits that offense that they need, and that's what they're going to do because Waller is not that tight end. He's a
And Moreau is filling in just fine for him.
just fine, just fine.
Still
Yeah.
going back to Heidi's statement. Now I will allow us to slip back into Josh and talk one more time. Tails by Diesel, thank you so much. He says we haven't discussed franchise and tagging, Josh, to
No,
keep
I
it real.
skipped over that because I think that that's something that is counterintuitive.
Hi,
If you
Vicky.
if you franchise tag him, you're on the hook for whatever that is, and that's the $13 million.
Oof.
And there's the question of would a running back play under the franchise tag with the risk of injury?
Hmm.
Would he sign that tag?
Hmm. I mean, the kid deserves everything that's out there on the free agent market. He has
Hi, Vicky.
earned it. Okay? He has earned his 12, 13 million. It just ain't going to be here. We can't, there's a variety of reasons, but I thought everybody saw the clue when McDaniels retained 5 running backs, in addition to not offering Josh his money. He already told you what his plans were for that position. We attach ourselves to guys who we feel like have performed for us. But the fact of the matter is, it's a numbers game and it's a business. And it's a system that they're trying to put in. We notice year to year how they, with the Patriot way, managed to always plug in young, cheap players behind valuable veterans over and over and over again, position after position after position. They are already ready with your replacement. Make no mistake about it. Every single player on this team that's a really great player, quite frankly, in their minds, they have your replacement already on the bench. That's how they prolonged a dynasty for 20 years. I mean, they can't just rely on 5 guys and then when they age out, that's it, it's over. That's nowhere in the plan. Your replacement is sitting on the bench, and the Raider fans need Raider Nation. You need to understand how these people won 20 straight years and are still winning. I mean, even though they haven't even got the caliber of player you think they ought to have, they're still always in contention. How did they do that? Because even Brady's replacement was sitting on the bench. Okay? We got to understand how they think. No one is inexpendable. No one. And that includes our beloved Josh.
And the fact of the matter is, Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels aren't going anywhere, at least not right now.
No. No,
They can't afford to get rid of them.
that's what the
So they're
word
going
is.
to instill the Patriot way into the Raiders and install what they want to.
That's right. And that includes everybody has a replacement sitting on the bench. Now I want to go to Renfro. Heidi, I love that guy. We loved him last year. Didn't he get a contract?
He got a
Captain,
contract.
did they not sign a contract with him? And
They did
then
sign a contract with him.
what happened?
He got
What,
He
hurt.
got rocked. He didn't get hurt. He got rocked. And I still think that even when they were talking about, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this and shut up, Heidi. His concussion that ended the Cardinal game was so
yeah.
bad that even it was on his doctor, not the Raider doctor. They actually had the his doctor kind of be come in like, hey, can he play? Because the Raider doctor said gave him the thumbs up, and his doctor until the very last minute when he did come back gave him the go ahead to come back. He is still in a fog. He's
Oh
not back to where
no.
he should be, and
Oh
I think
no.
that will be something that is we're going to have to take in consideration for the rest of the season and or next season, because it's going to be hard for him to get back to where he was last year. He is a spelt, smallish receiver that is playing above and beyond his body type, and unfortunately, Edelman, as well as
I'm
the
quite
other,
sure that's the way Josh saw
Wes
I,
him.
I
Welker,
know who you mean. I
Edelman.
know who you mean.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
all of those types, Edelman, Wes Welker, Denny
Mm-hmm.
Amendola, they have a shelf life. And I think that maybe that injury is going to curtail that shelf life. If he comes back, yeah, but I don't expect him to get back at the same caliber. I think it might even take a year for him to come back to his form from last year.
And Heidi, correct me if I'm wrong. Even when we did see Renfro from day one, I never got the feeling that Josh knew what to do with him. Did you get the feeling that he
No,
was kind of being written out of the offense
yeah, yeah. Josh really had a nice shiny toy, but he didn't know how to play with it.
at all?
A-
I
And
didn't see what was he doing.
you
He's
know,
a slot
if he
receiver.
yeah, if he comes back this year, I think Carr might be a little bit more vocal about uh, involving him, because I think Josh McDaniels might be listening to him a little bit now. But I really I don't know what to make of Renfro, because before he got hurt, it seemed like he wasn't
He
quite
was
fitting in either.
no
And
shockingly, like you said with Captain. I was getting ready to say, Danny Amendola,
yeah,
Welker. I thought that McDaniels would be thrilled to have a guy like that in his offense. Yeah, how it didn't happen, did it? I, Captain, I mean, did you see integration of Renfro into this offense the few games that he played?
No, and actually, it was he was the odd man out, actually, because they tried to incorporate Waller more, and even like when Waller dropped how many touchdowns against the Titans this year
Don't
was
get me
like three.
started.
Yeah, but I remembered that. But they were trying. It was like Adams, Waller, then Renfro, in that hierarchy. Okay, feed Adams, and if he's not open, feed Waller, and if you have that third look to Renfro. And I always thought it would be like do your progressions, but hit the first guy open. Not necessarily, it's like, okay, 17, 83, then 13. No. Look at your progressions as what the defense gives you and hit the open guy, not hit X, Y, and Z, not the X, Y, and the Z, but okay, hit A, B, and C. So if I say X, Y, and Z, it'll confuse people to X receiver, Y receiver, and Z receiver. But that's what I saw. And Renfro was not incorporated like he was last year. He was one catch away from tying Tim Brown for the record of most catches in a season by a Raider. One catch away.
Well,
and it
part of
didn't
that
happen.
was the absence of a field stretching receiver. Let's face it. I mean, after Ruggs was gone, I mean, we really never knew what to do, and he became the number one by default. I mean, that's exactly what happened. But this year, you bought in Devontae, right? So now he's no longer number one. But you also had a new coach, and I just was very disappointed. Let's go to players that I, I want to know where they're going to be next year, and I want to talk about Perriman. His 2-year contract's up. Do you bring him back, Captain?
Yeah, I bring him back in a. He is an embodiment of that defense. The defense plays well for him. Get another, give him another 2-year deal at something that is Raider friendly that he will take, because he likes playing for this team and he likes what's going on around him. I think that he, in that spirit of the Graham defense, they're utilizing him to his utmost capability, and
Mm-hmm.
I think he's an asset. Give him another 2-year deal.
Heidi, your thoughts about Perriman?
Cool, Kev. No, not a 1 year, $2 million extension. Give him a 2 or 3 year extension, and give him a decent amount. Give him his 5-6 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that, because I think that he has played up to that level, and I think that he would be valuable enough to the defense to be able to do that.
Well, I think he's absolutely valuable. And look at the way the defense plays when he's out injured. I mean, there is absolutely zero leadership on that field when he's gone. I mean, that you can actually tell what's going on, and I really wanted to see him. Now I wanted to go then to our D line, and we've got some interesting things going on in the middle. We already know our ends, but let me just start. Chandler Jones, here or not here next year, and you can opt out of his contract. I checked.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but at what cost?
Well, of course you're gonna take the cap hit, and then of course you don't know where he's going because you have to let him. He has one of those, you know, clauses where he gets to pick if you try to trade him,
Mm-hmm.
but you can also release him. Um, I feel well, Captain. Your thoughts on Chandler Jones here or not here next year?
I need more information. One game does not make a stay or not. I need to see more production out of Chandler Jones for the remainder of the year to answer that question. I'm sorry. And the other reason why is because, yeah, you say you can let him go, and he can opt out, or we can opt out of the contract. It is personnel versus cost effectiveness of what you have in a person that finally showed up, and we're like 2/3 the way through the season,
Mm-hmm.
and we finally have a Chandler Jones signing. But then again, that can also be all of the defensive players. You need all of the defensive players playing the system together in order to get the best benefit of Jones and Crosby, what we expected. And you needed that middle to be there, and it hasn't been there until recently. So if Chandler continues to play like we thought he was going to play, then yeah, I'm going to keep him another year. And again, because you're going to be eating money if you get rid of him. Period. So I'd rather keep him at if he's productive. I'd rather keep him for that extra year rather than just cut him loose and take a cap hit. That's
Heidi,
me.
your thoughts on Chandler? Is he here or not here next year? Because we're going to ask again in January, but I wanted to get your thoughts now. This is 12 games in. You've had a lot of people. We've had enough time to evaluate.
12 games in, it really depends on the cap hit.
Okay,
It,
that's
it,
good.
it really does. Because trading wise, it's going to be hard to find a partner based on what he's done this year.
No, he wants to trade him.
And nobody's going to want to take on that contract.
Right.
We're paying him $20 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
And that cap hit can be
Elizabeth. That's
that that
Elizabeth. That's an Elizabeth moment. Coming to
that
see.
cap hit can be more than that. I I would have to
Depends on
have
the
time to
guaranteed
look it
money.
up.
When they finish paying out the guaranteed money, more than
Yeah.
likely. because all those contracts now have got a portion guaranteed, and you're going to take the hit. No one's going to take that guaranteed hit off of you. They don't do that anymore. And that's one thing that I would say. And I say keep them. And I'm going to give just a few breezing reasons. First of all, soaking wet. Chandler Jones is 260 pounds. It reminds me of the guy Bruce Irvin on that end there. I don't know how in today's NFL anybody thinks a defensive end can be effective at 260, 265, even 270 pounds. Yeah, that makes him real quick. But more than likely, if two big bodies get on him, you'll never see him in a game. And that's exactly what Chandler Jones ran into playing with the Raiders. Because for the most part of the season, that inside line wasn't pulling anybody off of him. Chandler's a guy that's just got to have good inside play to not only draw the big bodies away, but to clear a road to the quarterback. I mean, he's just not big enough to move anybody. He's not moving anybody.
What was Derek Burgess's size when he was with us, Peggy? You probably remember that.
Who?
Derek Burgess, 56.
Yeah,
wasn't
he about? Go ahead.
Well,
he was about 250, 255.
Yeah, so basically he was the Chandler Jones of that era, but he had big bodies around him that forced the issue, and that's why he was one of the leaders in sacks in years that he was our defensive end / rush linebacker.
Right.
So if you have Chandler Jones in that mold, as long as you have the bodies that are taking the contact and drawing people off of him, or when you do the wide sweep and then you have nobody to run, you have the middle clogged so that the quarterback rushes up into the middle where there's people there.
Correct.
What happened yesterday, then he is effective doing what he is. And if we have that, then I'm keeping him to do what was entailed of what we thought he was going to do. But obviously, in order for Chandler Jones to be Chandler Jones, you need an effective clogging, rushing, penetrating two defensive tackles there.
Of them, because you absolutely have to keep Chandler one-on-one. And that wasn't happening for him for the majority of the season. There were two bodies on Chandler. 600 pounds.
So after we sign Jerry Tillery to a longer contract,
which I agree
we'll be able to answer that question a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to answer it a lot easier. And I think I've gone through our list. So I'm now want to focus on those new faces out there on defense. What's going on there? I mean, I know everybody's auditioning, right? It's clear it's an audition. But aren't you kind of loving those new guys? Matthew Farley. I mean, I always like Teamer. He's not new, but even Trayvon Moehrig had a great day yesterday. Isaiah Polamalu, who I talked about earlier. I mean, Harmon, who the captain talked about. Javon Brown, who we bought in from Tennessee, and I thought was going to be more of an impact player. And Curtis Bolton, linebackers. I mean, what's going on here? What's this? And then, of course, Cleveland with Billings didn't play yesterday. Butler had a little bit of time.
Yeah, Bilal Nichols.
And Bilal Nichols in the middle.
It's a bit of what they tried to do with the offensive line earlier in the year. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. See how much this works, see how much that works. And slowly but surely, they are finding pieces that fit.
I think that they are. And Captain talked about that defensive scheme. And I want to tell you how effective it was because I was so shocked to see names that I'd never seen having tackles and solo tackles. Let me start right out. Nate Hobbs with the 8 solo tackles. I mean,
and the fumble recovery.
And a fumble recovery. I mean, come on. He's a corner. Normally, Captain, aren't you in trouble when your corners are making tackles like that?
Well, yes, technically, but if you have a team that throws the ball a lot, like the Garglers do, your corner is expected to make tackles because the guy he's covering he better make the tackle if the guy he's covering is making the catch.
A lot of
So
these at least four of them were actually at the line of scrimmage. Now I
yeah.
don't know. I'm talking about tackles, runners tackles.
Oh, okay. But yeah, the one thing I like about Hobbs is that he played, and that's why he was the best slot corner as a rookie last year. He played the slot. He was looking for the playing the slot with the slot receiver as well as looking for the run, and he made a lot of TFL last year. Going in and getting the guys behind the line of scrimmage. I don't know if he led the league in that as a D back, but I know he was top 5 in that category. I'm pretty sure. So he definitely plays the run well, and when he does get on his receiver, he's going to make sure that the receiver, for the most part, is not going to get by him. I don't recall Hobbs ever missing a tackle on a guy that he's covering.
No, and he's one of the few, and which brings me right to Heidi. I call him my toddler because he's a second year guy. Trayvon Mooring actually had a decent day.
He did. He's kind of had a shaky year up till now. I
He had
think
a
they
tackle for a
expected.
loss.
I think they expected more out of him after the rookie year that he had. Um, but he did. He looked good. It's like he's coming along. They might still keep him around.
You think he'll be here? Yeah. I mean, for one thing, see, my mind is on the pay. If he's cheap, his chances of staying captain have just gone up 50%. Okay, it just is what it is. He's kind of like one of
Morig
those. Go
Morig
ahead.
was a second round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
A high, I believe it was a higher second round draft pick.
Yeah.
So his contract isn't going to be one that they're going to want to walk away from quite yet on
Mm-mm.
on the third year, but they could. Um, I think a lot of it is going to depend on how he plays out the season.
It does. And I wanted to move right on to Amik Robertson, and I'm trying to figure out. I keep hearing we love Amik, but he's too short. He can't
He is
match
a
up with
little guy. He is a little guy.
Captain. Have you heard this? Have you heard people
Yeah,
saying
I
that?
mean, if you gave Amik about 3 or 4 more inches, he'd probably be one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. So
Oh,
if there is a way to put some lifts in his shoes that he won't fall over himself running, that would be perfect. Or stretch him out on the rack like a medieval type to get that extra 2 or 3 inches on him. Or if you're going to go Star Trek, like how the Klingons put like things in the spot. Well, that's another episode.
I know
Anyway,
that's what that's in the new generation.
yeah. That was actually it was on not the
Deep
one
Space,
with the new one that was oh god
Voyager,
no, it wasn't Voyager.
Enterprise.
Enterprise.
No, it was the one that with
Uh-oh,
the with the black
we're giving
captain
ourselves away, Heidi.
with the black captain that was
That's
the
Deep Space Nine.
Well,
no, not
no,
the
that wasn't the
black
captain.
female captain, the
Oh, oh,
newest one
oh, there's another one with a black. Well, I don't know that one. Maybe that
with
was one of the movies, like one of the 10
no,
movies.
probably one of the best ones, the one that the one that premiered the night that the Raiders went to Washington D.C. and got embarrassed. It was on that night I watched the Raider game and I said I should have watched the Star Trek episode because it went from CBS to Paramount and I had to get Paramount in order to watch the entire series.
Well, I missed that one, but I wanted to go to talk
Anyway, but
about.
that's about the spine with the with the Klingons. What they can put like 6 inches
I
in
want
it.
to see the Picard. I want to see
Yeah,
Picard.
I've seen two
That's a good
series.
one.
It's great. It's
I
great.
love it.
It's
And
awesome.
we're gonna make a date one time. We're gonna all meet in Vegas, and we're gonna rent out a big screen TV get some popcorn, and we're
And
gonna
watch
put
all the Trek we
every
want.
Star Trek
Yeah,
episode
yeah.
on all weekend long.
I'll do that.
Angria can come, bring the baby. We'll have a blast.
Yeah, I'll be
I'm
there.
game. Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm still on looking at some guys.
Amik. The answer is Amik is going to be still a part. He is a valuable slot extra corner, and I said if he had some more inches, he would be a top corner. But he plays over his height. He does play over his height, and he's finally figured out that in the height that he's giving up, how to compensate for it as effectively as possible. So he's a damn good corner.
I want to talk about two more corners, Sam Webb and Rock Yassin. Rock has been around a little bit, hasn't he? Heidi, do you remember hearing about Rock? But
yes, he was with the Colts.
Yeah, he's been around a little bit, and I thought actually we were going to draft him. Actually,
I've actually been happy with him. I thought that he has been doing a suitable job. That at the start of the year, I thought he would be one of our better corners, and I think he has been. Whether he'll be here next year,
he's another one.
I don't know if he's played himself into that.
Yeah, he's another one on a cheapie 1 year. They love him. Sam Webb, similarly, Sam had a good day.
And Sam's a rookie, and I think that Sam is going to play into one of those starting corners next year, no matter who is on the other side of him. Averett, who is on the IR, has done nothing this year to get a new contract.
He has cashed those checks just fine.
I know.
Yeah.
And he shot all the time.
Yeah. And I'm this is going to sound awful, but any cornerback that has red in his hair, don't play him.
Don't play him. Right. I mean, automatically, suspicion arises in the captain's mind.
Yeah, I'm just saying, and I know that's profiling, but have we had a good cornerback that had red dreads? The answer is no.
He said no.
And I think Anthony Averett is a goner. I see no reason to keep him around.
Yeah, and really, and I also want to talk about a young man named Luke Masterson, a young linebacker. And
Luke, I am your father.
I really, I think he's smart. I think he doesn't have the speed that we need, that sideline to sideline, but he's young.
I like him on special teams.
Mm-hmm.
I like him for depth.
Yeah, he's like Greg Biekert-ish type. He does the job. He does the job, and I like what we got with him.
Oh yeah. Now I want to go to a fun segment in the remaining 13 minutes that we have, and maybe some of our audience can get into this. I want to talk about football idioms, things that people say just out of the blue, and I just want a true or false. True or false? True or false? You run to set up the pass. Straight up. True. Don't give me situations.
True.
Don't tell me about situations, Captain. I'm not going to let you hedge. Thank you, Heidi. You run to set up the pass.
Depends upon the team.
Oh, there he goes. There he goes. See, that's not the way this game is played.
Theory. This is your show, but it's on my channel.
He wants to say that. Okay, let me go to another one. The NFL is now a passing league. True or false? The NFL is a passing league.
True.
Yep.
Right?
Historical too. Yeah.
True or false? If the owners wanted to stop guaranteed contracts, they would have already. True or false?
False.
I think the answer is they wish they could do that.
But do they really want to do that? The owners would like to stop guaranteed contract, fully guaranteed. Do you think they really want to?
Yeah, because a guaranteed
True.
contract is not good for them financially.
So you think they really want to stop them?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the team that, like I said, baseball sucks because that contract is all guaranteed. That league has issues. At least in football, the guaranteed contracts are, you can get out of them, and there's like little clauses and whatnot. But if they could get rid of guaranteed contracts, they would. But they can't, because then they can't get the guys that they want.
True. There's another one. The commissioner has authority over the refereeing. True or false? The commissioner.
True.
The commissioner has
True.
authority over refereeing.
Commissioner doesn't have authority over nobody because he's being paid by the owners.
So that's a false?
That's a false.
No, I say that's true.
True or false?
And yes, he is being paid by the owners.
Yes, he is being paid. But paid for what? that's
to
the
make
question.
them money. There's one thing that the commissioner is being paid for, and that is to make the owners money.
That's
That
it.
is his only purpose in the league, is to make the owners money.
You guys, thank you out there. You all are playing with us. True or false?
That's Ruben, and he's got a paid puppet.
Oh, this is going to be funny. True or false? This is Aaron Rodgers last year. True or false?
False. He's gonna go somewhere else next year.
Oh my God!
I say false. I say false.
You say false too? Go somewhere else other than Green Bay?
Yeah.
Too big of an ego to walk away. Too big of an ego to walk away the way he is right now.
Yeah, last year with that right there, cool Kev. Last year with the Packers, he's going somewhere else.
And they already messed up one of my true or falses that I still don't want to scratch it out. True or false? Baker Mayfield is finished.
True.
The answer should be true, but the unfortunate answer is false. Somebody's going to give that schmuck an opportunity, and he got an opportunity. Yeah.
Oh, he'll get an opportunity, but he's finished.
But see, if he's playing, he ain't finished.
Well, no, he was picked.
He will never be a starting quarterback in the NFL again. He's finished.
He's finished.
I wouldn't say that. He might. I mean, I'd say by the end of this year, he's going to be starting for the Rams.
Oh my gracious! They picked him up. The Rams
picked him up.
I wouldn't say that he is never going to start another game, but he will not be a starting quarterback.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, we could go there. True or false? Steve Wilkes gets the job in Carolina. Steve Wilkes gets the job in Carolina. True?
I think the answer to that is true. I think that the team responds to him well. He got a really raw deal in Arizona, and I think that they found a guy that is worthwhile as a coach. He definitely has the background and experience to do that. I think he'll get the job.
Heidi?
I'll go with true.
You think he'll get the job? I mean, there is a possibility. Another true or false? I got a whole list of them. Mike Vrabel is fired as the Titans coach at the end of this year.
Well, I was going to say the answer. If you hadn't said at the end of this year, I would say yes. True. He will be fired
at the end of this year. Mike Vrabel will be fired from Tennessee. They already fired the GM today.
Oh, well, yeah. If they fired the GM, I didn't know about that. If they fired the GM today, then he's a goner. He's a goner.
Yeah, he's out.
All right.
That's
new GM, new coach.
New GM, new coach. Yep.
And this is something from my wicked little mind. True or false? San Francisco 49ers make it to the NFC title game. True or false?
False. But Brock Purdy does better than people think he'll do.
Hmm.
I agree with that
Ooh.
too. I think that they're going to come up a game short. That they'll go. They might go. Depends on where they are in the seedings. They might. Not, I don't think they're going to be one and done, but I think they're going to fall a game short of the championship game.
I love it. True or false? The New York Giants are pretenders.
True.
True or false? The New
True.
York Giants are pretenders.
True.
I love it. Okay, here comes one that the captain probably wants to rip the words out of my mouth. True or false? Tom Brady plays another year. True or false? I know he
The
wants to
answer,
rip.
the answer is true.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't going to be down here with the fake Pirates, but somebody's going to want them.
Oh my God, another team, Heidi. True or false? Tom Brady plays one more year.
True.
Absolutely true.
Especially because he doesn't
Too
have
big
that
of an ego.
reason. He doesn't have that reason anymore. Because if he had that reason, this probably might have been his last year. But when that reason just became well, see ya, I'm going to do what I want.
I don't know, guys. That's gonna.
He's got nothing holding him back now.
Exactly.
He
That's
has
true.
nothing holding him back.
He's a
Yeah.
free man.
He is the new Brett Favre.
And we say that tongue in cheek. We don't really want to get that started. True or false? Irsay keeps Saturday as the permanent head coach in Indianapolis.
False.
True.
I'm going to say false. He's going to actually get a responsible head coach because the Colts are not playing up to capabilities. They beat us, but they need a quote unquote a real head coach. And Saturday it would make a great O-line coach now that he's been up there, but he's not going to keep the head coaching job.
True or false? Sean Payton returns to coaching.
True. Didn't
True.
even need to think about it.
Y'all didn't even that. Wait a minute now. Take a deep breath.
Yeah, I didn't even need a half millisecond to say, yeah, true.
True or false? The New England Patriots make the playoffs this year. True or false?
False.
I don't even know where they stand right now.
No. Wait a
I'll
minute.
say false.
Come on now. We've seen Bill time after time with these.
I'm gonna, and the reason why is, and again, I think that they have the same record as us.
I love it. Edward's so funny. Brady plays in San Francisco. Mystery solved.
Yeah. They have. I think they're 5-7, like us. Okay, and I think that I might amend the answer only to if they beat us, then it is a possibility. But I don't think that they will. I think that we're ascending, and that's not I'm not smoking anything that would make me pop on a piss test. But I think that we're going to be a game better than them for a playoff spot. But the fact is that the Bills and the Dolphins are the best teams in that division.
Dolphins convinced me of nothing after yesterday.
I think that when you have some guy who can throw it up to Waddle and Hill running 9 patterns, and then they can catch the ball, they're going to win more games than not.
All right. I mean, we'll absolutely have to see how they handle it. True or false? Mark Davis sells the Raiders let's say in the next 5 years.
True.
Heidi?
False.
he will sell them or will be made to sell them in
Before
the next
Dan
5 years.
Snyder, before Dan Snyder, or before Mr. Ross down in Miami, who's currently suspended. Before those crooks,
Like I said, he will be
he
made to
ain't no
sell the
Eddie
team.
DiBartolo. Who gonna make him do anything?
He will be
When has
made
the
to sell the
NFL
team.
made? When besides Eddie DiBartolo, when's the last time you heard the NFL making any other owner do anything except for
Let me see. Jerry Richardson with the Panthers.
well, the rumor is he was going to sell the team anyway. Team was already on the market. That's what the Carolina
You
fans.
asked for a name, and I gave you a name.
Well, and that may be true, but other than that,
Now, what I could see is Mark Davis selling part of the team, part of
that's
his
true.
interest.
And
I
wait a
could see
minute,
part of. I could see that,
we still have to
but I don't
remember
see
with
him. I
Captain.
don't see him selling it.
I think you're
See,
right.
I see him selling all or part, and then him going and franchising his own Hooters slash PF Chang.
He just you guys,
No,
along
his
with the
money's
rest.
in Cirque du Soleil now.
Yeah, I know. I saw her. Yeah,
Yes.
I saw her because we were wondering. You said, "Who is that smoke show?" That, and I didn't see. Obviously, I was at the game, but they were talking about a smoke show, and I saw it on one of the sites today. I said, "Yeah, she's pretty hot."
And
Yeah.
I'm saying to Mark, have all the fun you want. You are not married. Go out there and do your thing, baby. It's Vegas. You know what I'm saying? No one would begrudge anybody except Mark Davis a chance to be free.
He just needs a new stylist.
Well, we know that. One of
That
our,
collar looked great on her.
I know it. Oh, definitely was hot, don't you think? And
She
true.
was hot. She's hot.
I
Yeah.
I'll
mean,
give him that.
there's no doubt about it. True or false? Jerry Jones retires in the next 3 years. True or false?
False, but
False.
he might croak.
Yeah,
Y'all,
I could
y'all
see that.
right? And wait a minute, but his two sons are in the front office.
That's right. So basically, if you say, is there going to be a change in leadership that doesn't begin with the name Jones for the
Mhm.
next 20 or so years in Dallas? The answer is false.
All right,
Jerry
true.
Jones will let go of that team when they pry it from his cold, dead hands.
Thank you.
Oh, Heidi, that is the line of the day from his cold dead hands. True or false? And this may be no my last two one. The San Diego, the
No, you
LA,
had it right. You
the
had it right.
LA Chargers will win a division title in the next 3 years. True.
False.
Heidi.
If they could beat the injury bug for once. I'll say true.
Did she say true? She said,
I'll say true.
Captain, they've got arguably what I believe in my heart the best quarterback in the AFC West. Now, you can stone me, rock me later. I'll send you my address. You can send nasty
and
postcards.
like I said, and I got lambasted for this in Wild Wild West when I said that Derek Carr is a better quarterback than him. And until he proves me otherwise, I'm right.
I know. True or false? The Raiders make the playoffs this year. I got to end on that one.
Ooh.
True or false? I see you guys out there answering.
Answer is
You know
false.
what? I'm going to say false because I said false last year and they pulled it off.
I know. So we got to go with that, Captain.
I said
The
false,
Raiders-
and I think they're gonna fall a game short.
Okay.
But I think they're going to make a run at it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. You see the motivation. I see it too. And it is time for us to go. CR. I love C.
And
CR
Edward
comments.
Winchell, I love your positive attitude. It
I
always
do.
brings sunshine into the room.
And Matthew too. I know Matthew sometimes goes off sometimes, but I know deep in his heart, all of you love the red. And look at CR. She said the same thing. I blasphemed. I understand. They for car
And Kev, thank you for coming tonight. Thank you.
we appreciate everybody who came out and
Vicky, everyone.
Yeah, Vicky, I haven't seen you in ages. About ready to put you on a milk carton, honey.
oh, there she is. She's got little smiley faces.
Little
Yeah,
froggies.
Little
I
froggies.
know it. Love you back to CR and thank everybody for coming. And we will see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
All right. Good night.
Ladies, always a
Bye.
pleasure. Always a pleasure. All right. And again, the best part of the show just left. Those are the two ladies, Peggy and Heidi, aka DC Wench, my DC Wench, Peggy Holmes, and Kevlar prom dress, Heidi Stabbert. Love the ladies. Make sure you are here every other Tuesday for Captain Jack presents Silver and Black Ladies Nights. Salute to the ladies. I will definitely put what Steve says up. Salute to Steve saying that. Salute to the ladies for sure. Michael M says true. The Raiders will make the playoffs. We'll see, but I think that they're gonna fall a game short. And again, the only possibility is they have to win every game. They're going to have to win every game. If they do, then they will make the playoffs. But I think they're going to lose one of these remaining games, and they're going to be one game short. I think they're going to be like 9-8. But that's me. No, Ruben. The best part of the show is definitely Heidi and Peggy. I'm just the old dude in the middle with the beard. So, and Cool Kev says that, there's too many people that are ahead of us that will be fighting for that spot. Like I said, if the Raiders win out, they will be in the playoffs. I know you're kidding, Ruben. I know. Yeah, yes, the best part of the show was the ladies. That's true. Vicky, good to see you. Good to see you. She says the Raiders making the playoffs is true, or that the ladies are the best part of the show. That is true. So in that respect, she's right in there. And I'm good seeing you. Great seeing Vicky. And I was about ready to give you a call, so at least I know you're here. I will try to give you a call after this, and I owe Ed a call too. Again, this is Silver and Black Ladies Night. It is always great seeing everybody. And we're here for you. And I said, make sure you let everybody know about the best ladies, Raiders, and sports show out there. And I mean that, and it's for sure. Be here in 2 weeks. I will see if I will see if next Tuesday, if we have a Chronicles of the Black Hole. I'm not sure. If we have a Chronicles of the Black Hole, it'll be next Tuesday. If not, then I will be on next Tuesday. I'll have an uncensored show. Okay, Vicky, go to sleep. Get some rest. Get some rest. I know Vicky's been hard working. So you take care, honey. Just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. But yeah, I honestly think that the Raiders will beat the Chiefs the last game of the year. I honestly believe that. I think that game will be needed by Kansas City in order to try to get to the number one spot, but they're going to lose to the Raiders. I believe that as well. Do you think the Rams helped us bringing in the schmuck because the players might not be on board? Just a thought. Yeah, I actually I don't think that they did themselves a service bringing in Baker Mayfield. I firmly believe that was a debatable move. No, Vicky, I'm not coming to the game. I am not. It's because it is a midweek game, and I can't afford to take 2 days off this week and then take 2 days off next week because I have to be in Vegas for the Friday and then the following Monday. So I can't afford those hours, and I would have to take an additional 2 days off, leave Wednesday night to be here for a Thursday game and then a Friday game. I can't afford to do that. I'm sorry. I would love to be out there in LA. Another thing, in Vicky, is that I'm not going to LA again until I have somebody with some good top cover to so I can get into the building without having them threaten me with taking off all my jewelry. So that's the way it is. So until that changes, I won't be out in LA. The wire, yeah, okay. Yeah, they brought Baker in to sell earthquake insurance. That's not too bad. Vicky, take care of yourself. Get some rest. Keep up with me. Ed Winchell, I'll since Vicky's going to bed, I'll give you a quick call. Y'all take care. Ruben says that the upper balcony in SoFi are going for $167 a ticket. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Again, if the game, like I said, any game that's on a Thursday, until I start having enough paid time off, I can't go out. Can't do it. But we'll see on that. Again, tomorrow is Wild Wild West at 7:30 Eastern Time. The Wild Wild West show. Myself, the coach from the coach. I can't remember what coach's other name is. The podcast that he does. The Chargers coach. Alex of the Chiefs, and then Richie Riche of the Broncos. Yeah, Rich, I'm here. I'm coming at you live. He's just not going to answer me. I thought. Oh, Lockdown. Thank you, there, Damien. Lockdown podcast. Yes, coach from the Lockdown podcast. Thanks, Damien. I keep forgetting it. Is that directed at Ed? Perhaps. I don't know, but I won't be there. Lockdown podcast is the coach for the Chargers. Ticker is doing a little better. Good. You need to get some rest, Vicky. I need to too. And I get an earful from the ladies to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. I'm trying to do that. But I will do that as soon as I can. Again, tomorrow, Wild Wild West show, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Thanks there, Jesse. Good meeting you as well. It was nice meeting you out in Vegas the other day, Jesse. Good to see you as well. Did we get a picture together? I hope we did. If we didn't, we need to make sure we did that next time. Rich Davis, you have a great night too. Wild Wild West show tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on this channel. Then at 9 o'clock, NFL Nation Live with myself, Ref Guru, and Violator. And in order of importance, it would be Ref Guru, Violator, and then some salty captain. Oh, good. I'll be out there for New Year's, Vicky. I will definitely be out there for New Year's. NFL Nation Live at prime time 9. There you go. Just like Cool Kev says. Then Thursday, yes, we are playing Thursday night. I will have a show Thursday night while the Raiders are playing on TV. I will have the game on. I will have the sound down so as not to get a YouTube strike, but I will be on for the regular Thursday show. You don't know jack about sports. I will have the show on while the Raiders are doing their game. I will be doing my regular Thursday show, and then we'll have a show. We'll have a show on Sunday, obviously at the regular time, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, and I don't need to worry about being late for that because I don't have to worry about running to the hotel to do the show. Yes, I will. I will be there, Vicky. I'll be there. Good night to you as well. Get some rest, honey. So again, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the ladies, the wonderful ladies, Silver and Black Ladies Night, Peggy, Heidi, and even our love for Angria when we get a chance to hang out with her as well. Let's see here, streaming the game. Okay, yeah, they can. No barbecue chicken this week. No barbecue chicken. Keenan Allen can blow it. Anyway, take care. We will see you tomorrow. Wild Wild West 7:30, NFL Nation live on this channel at 9. Thursday, 9 o'clock Eastern. We will be doing it from the game. The game will already be on, but I'll pop in at 9 o'clock. Maybe. No, I can't do it because I have a time slot at 9. So yeah, 9 o'clock Eastern on Thursday. Take care, everybody. We will see you. Yar! Have a great one.